everyone. Thanks for joining us and welcome to today's webinar, Design Experiences with Customer Journeys. I'm Kayla and I'm on the Strategic Services team here at Mailchimp. Along with my teammate Nicole, we'll be your hosts for today.
Hey everyone, a quick reminder, we are currently working from home, so you might hear some ambient noise or experience brief audio delays due to internet connections. We're doing our best to adapt and bring you the content you want to see, so we really appreciate your patience. More than ever, we know how important it is for small businesses to stand out from the crowd and actively engage with their customers, especially with the holiday season quickly approaching. Today, we'll focus on our new feature, Customer Journeys, which provides a visual way to build and send automations within Mailchimp. This tool will help you connect with shoppers and increase your sales.
In fact, with automated emails, we've found that Mailchimp customers can see significant increases compared to regular email campaigns, including, on average, a 93% increase in open rates and a 174% increase in click rates. And by utilizing the Customer Journey Builder, you can now map and automate how people engage with your business, allowing you to create experiences for your customers based on who they are and how they interact with you.
So let's go ahead, take a look at today's agenda. In this webinar, we'll start things off by introducing the concept of customer journeys and how they work. Then we'll discuss key terminology that's important to know before we move on to then create a customer journey in Mailchimp together. Then we're going to show you how one example business utilized Mailchimp's Customer Journey Builder to send relevant, curated content to their audience through automated emails. And finally, we're going to wrap up by covering some best practices to keep in mind when creating your own journeys. We do want to note before we get going that customer journeys are a feature that are available on all of our paid plans.
Following the webinar, everyone who's registered will receive a follow-up email, and that's going to include a recording of today's session, useful resources on customer journeys and how to set them up, as well as a quick feedback survey on this webinar. If you're in need of any technical assistance during today's webinar, we would encourage you to check out our guides and tutorials at mailchimp.com/help.
So let's kick off today's content by talking about customer journeys, what they are, and why they're an important part of your marketing strategy. We all know that running a small business requires you to wear a lot of different hats all at once. With so many tasks, from creating your own products to monitoring cash flow and finances, marketing can often take a back seat. But Mailchimp is here for you, offering powerful, easy-to-use automation tools so you can quickly connect with your customers without repeated manual work on your part. With our Customer Journey Builder, you're able to set up detailed visual roadmaps that chart out your various communication paths. You'll be able to see and know exactly how and when automated emails will be sent to your customers at pivotal points along their journey with your brand.
As you know, automated emails aren't new to Mailchimp. In fact, you may have set them up before in your own Mailchimp account. But we've now made it easier for you to see at a glance how people enter your automated workflow, and then set them off on a journey that's right for them. Now, in the past, automated workflows could only be set up in a linear way, so like a straight path. And that means that every user who entered your automation took the same path. You could only have one event that triggered the automation, and there weren't a ton of options for customization.
We know that no two customers are the same, so we built this new tool with that in mind, helping you create and design relevant experiences for your customers. Now, you can design a journey map that will guide a contact along any number of possible routes, so the experience is more tailored to a contact based on their interactions and behavior. With customer journeys, your automations are continually engaging with your customers in a relevant way, keeping your brand top of mind. Mapping and automating emails based on how people engage with you can help free up your time so you can get back to all the other important aspects of running your business.
Different marketing platforms use different terminology. So to help you get us all on the same page, let's take this time now to discuss some key terms to know. After we lay this foundation, we'll create a customer journey together in Mailchimp so that you can see the feature in practice. As a quick reminder, we will be sending out a recording of today's session after the webinar so that you can revisit all of this information again later.
To start, a customer journey is an automated route that consists of different interactions a contact will trigger as they move through it, carving out their own unique path based on what they do or don't do along the way. Think of it like a choose your own adventure journey, where an action that someone takes influences the next action. A visual representation of all of the possible paths a contact can take in a customer journey is called a customer journey map.
Now, each map has a starting point, which is the event or action that adds a contact to a journey. Now, you may have heard of this as a trigger, since a starting point is the trigger to begin an automation. And starting point actions can include things like a purchase from an online store, being added to a tag, signing up to an audience, or a recurring date like a birthday or anniversary, among other options.
Each customer journey map can have up to 3 starting points. It can be useful to incorporate multiple starting points, as you may have similar goals for customers, even if they begin their journey in different ways. For example, say you run an outdoor store and you want to set up a customer journey for anyone who has either bought a hiking backpack or hiking boots from you. You could send people who purchased either of these products on a path that would give them hiking tips, as well as include more information on your other products related to hiking in your store.
Now, journey points are the rules or actions that follow a starting point in a customer journey. You'll plot these on your customer journey map based on the interactions you want your contacts to have with your business. Rules allow you to set conditions for your emails and branch your workflows, which creates the action, such as sending the next email. So let's take a moment to dig into the differences between rules and actions as types of journey points.
A rule determines how and when a contact moves along a set path. For example, you can have a rule for email delay. Using our hiking example again. So here, we've set up an abandoned cart automated email for customers who leave items in their shopping cart but don't check out. We can set up a delay rule to wait 6 hours after someone abandons their cart before sending them an email to encourage them to come back and check out. Or you can utilize the wait rule, where a contact has to meet certain conditions before they can move on in the journey. An example of this could be that a contact signs up for your newsletter, but can't move forward in the journey until they buy something from you. We also have branching rules, which we'll be coming back to discuss in just a moment.
But first, let's define actions. An action is a journey point where Mailchimp performs a specific action following a customer's behavior. For example, they sign up for a newsletter and we want to wait until they buy something to send them the next email. Making a purchase would be the action that sets off the email being sent and moves them to the next step in their customer journey. The same goes for tags. Once the tag is added to the
same goes
contact,
for tags.
Sorry, we were both very excited. That is the action that moves them on in their customer journey. And so to recap here, you'll set up rules around timing and delays, and then you'll set up actions to send emails based on those rules.
All right, now that we've covered the basics of rules and actions, some of you might be looking for a bit more advanced functionality. Branching logic, which we refer to as an if-else rule, is where contacts can split into one of two branching paths based on conditions you choose. You can think of this as the if this, then that principle. And just a note, customer journeys are available on all of our paid plans, as we mentioned earlier. But if you want to use branching, this feature is available on our standard plans and above. So you can upgrade if you'd like to have access to it. And all of this information is going to be included in that follow-up email.
So let's break this down. Keeping our hiking products example in mind, remember that we're sending all of these people a follow-up email with our hiking tips and other products to purchase. We can introduce branching here to then send different emails based on their interactions with that message. For example, we want to separate communications to someone who opens that email versus someone who doesn't. So here on the left, we can send a message with a discount code to everyone who opened the email. And this will hopefully encourage them to make a new purchase. And on the right here, we can send a message to everyone who didn't open the email with a reminder that we have limited stock and items are selling out fast. This branching if-else logic allows us to tailor our communications even further based on user behavior, which is a great way to increase open rates and increase engagement.
Ultimately, how you build your customer journey is determined by you and what your marketing goals are, including all of the specific starting points, actions, and rules that you set up to reach your customers. Once you have your structure in place, you might be wondering how you get started setting up the automated emails within your journey. So after you design your journey map and activate it, any contact who matches the starting point condition will be added to the automation workflow. When a contact reaches a journey point, action, or rule, we'll automatically do the work for you.
For example, let's say that you create a customer journey to welcome new contacts. This includes the starting point for signs up, the rule delay for 1 hour, and the action of send email. This means that any contact who signs up to your audience will receive an email after a 1 hour delay. You could also have one starting point that adds contacts who are added to a specific group, and another starting point that adds contacts who buy a certain product. If a contact meets either condition, they'll be added to the journey.
So, all right, now that we've covered some key concepts and terms to know, let's go ahead and put this all together in practice by building a customer journey for our business, Sawyer's Bake Shop. We're going to head into the Mailchimp app and get started. So once you log in, you're going to start in your left navigation menu, and we're going to click on this automation icon right here. And that's going to bring us to the Explore page. This page provides inspiration and offers recommendations and starting points to help you get set up in your journey. Now, if you're unsure or feeling overwhelmed, you can just take a look at these to assist you in getting going. And a quick note before we begin. While our single-step classic automation builder is available for everyone to use, we just want to point out that customer journeys are a feature available only on paid plans. If you're interested in creating customer journeys with multiple starting points, as we are about to, you would need to be on our standard paid plan or above to access that.
If you have any questions about our pricing or what's included in each plan, you can always visit mailchimp.com/pricing for more information on all of it. Since we already have an idea of what we want to do, we're going to go ahead and just click into the My Journeys tab right over here to begin. And here you can look at performance of current customer journeys, edit or delete a journey, or replicate it to create a brand new one. For today's webinar, we want our journey to send out welcome emails to new contacts who have signed up for our audience. We'll show you how to set up different automated emails to go out to different subscribers based on some specific criteria that we're about to set. So to begin, let's go ahead and just click on this Create button. at the top right corner. And from this dropdown, we'll see the option to create classic automations right here, or to create customer journeys with more personalization in a visual workflow, as we've been showing you all. So we're just going to go ahead and click into customer journey.
All right, and so we're giving this journey a name, and in our case, we're just going to type in new subscriber journey. We'll also need to choose what audience we'd like to tie this journey to. Let's choose our retail customers audience, and you can see it's already selected. So perfect. We'll hit start building. And first up, we're going to select the starting point we want our contacts to take to kick off our series. So we'll just click here on choose a starting point. And as you can see, there's a menu that shows options to choose from. Starting points related to contact activity, date and special events, and shopping activity. Now, for this customer journey, we want to send a welcome email to each new contact that signs up. So for our starting point, we're going to click on signups. And now anyone who signs up for our audience from any source will start receiving these emails once we activate the journey. We'll also see an option to check a box to include imported contacts. This means that if we manually import new contacts into our audience, they'll also receive our welcome email, not just people who sign up on their own. Let's go ahead and check that box and save the starting point.
Now, after we add a starting point, we can then add a filter, as seen right here. Filters let us be more specific about who will start a journey and pinpoint specific contacts based on their individual data. You can add up to 5 filter conditions to add contacts that best fit your customer journey's purpose. So let's just take a moment and actually click in right here. And if we want to have these emails go to a more specific portion of our audience, let's say people who only signed up via a specific source like a landing page, we can then choose this allow contacts who match your starting point condition and your filters, so contacts from a custom segment. And we just did that.
Now, this might be familiar to you if you've ever created a segment for your Mailchimp audience. Here you'll see that we can filter on a variety of criteria, like if a contact has a certain tag applied, if they signed up from a specific source, or if they've opened up any of our recent campaigns. For now, we want to include everyone who signs up for our audience, so we'll click cancel, but keep these options in mind. Now that we have the beginnings of our customer journey map going, you're going to see some choices here at the left that we referenced earlier, like adding in branching, using the wait rule, picking a delay, sending an email, and of course, adding or removing a tag. So up next, we're going to add some branching to this customer journey. We want to send all of our new contacts a welcome email, but send our new contacts we've met in person at events like pop-up shops something a bit more special, including a discount code for them to use in our online store. To do this, let's select the if else under our rules and drag and drop it to this plus sign right below our starting point.
And as a reminder, this rule allows you to send different emails to contacts based on their behavior or characteristics that we choose. So in our case today, we want to send one welcome email to all of our contacts who shopped at our pop-up store, and then a separate welcome email to everyone who signed up with us via our online store. We'll include different content for each group to tailor our welcome message.
To set this up, we'll click on the rule where it says add a condition. Our condition will be if the user is tagged with the tag pop-up. So from the first drop-down, we'll select tags. And then we're going to keep contact as tagged. and then choose Pop-up from our list of tags. All right, then we're gonna click Save. Then our next step is to add in these emails. So to do so, we'll drag and drop Send Email under Actions on the left onto our plus sign here at the bottom left of our rule. Now you can see if the contact signs up and has the tag pop-up applied, they'll get this email here on the left. We're going to do the same on the right-hand side. So we'll drag and drop Send Email to the right. If someone signs up and doesn't have the tag pop-up applied, they'd get this email.
We're not going to spend a ton of time today on designing an automation email for today's session, but let's just go ahead and click in to see what this process would look like. So to design an email, you can just click into the email in your customer journey map, like I'm doing right now. And here you're going to see 3 different options to help you get started. First up, there's the Creative Assistant, and this is a great place to start if you're unsure where to begin. We know it can take a lot of work to create professional on-brand designs, and to save yourself time, you can use our Creative Assistant to quickly generate a stylish set of graphics for your marketing content. The second option would be to select a template right here to create a new email. These template options are identical to the ones you've likely encountered when creating a regular email campaign in Mailchimp. Additionally, if you've saved a template in the past, you can select from those templates to utilize as well. And finally, you can use a previously sent campaign as a template right here. And that will just help you create a brand new email from a previously sent one, just like that. All right, now let's go ahead and exit out of this just to get back to building our campaign, our customer journey map. Let's go ahead and select X. And to wrap up this journey, after we send our pop-up users the initial welcome email, we want to wait a bit, and then we want to send them a follow-up with a reminder about using their discount code. So let's go ahead and pick delay from our rules on the left, right here, and then drag and drop it under our email right here.
We want a second email to send out 3 days after the first email is sent to our pop-up shop visitors. So let's click into the delay here and then change it from 1 week to 3 days and then hit save. Now we can drag and drop another send email underneath the delay. So as you can see here, now any new contact that signs up to our audience and has the tag pop-up is going to get this series of 2 emails. There are a few quick things to note here. The bottom left-hand side of our screen, you'll see these plus and minus icons, so you can zoom in or out on your journey. You can also click your cursor anywhere on the journey and move it around to see different parts more up close. Keep in mind, you can always delete parts of your journey as well. Simply click into the point of your journey you want to work with. And here you can select this remove trash can icon. We're going to keep that, so we're just going to select close. Once your journey is finished and all of your emails are designed, you're going to select turn on or continue here in the top right-hand corner. Once you do, you'll be able to edit or pause your journey at any time.
From here, let's go ahead and select this X icon right here in the top right, just to take us back to our customer journey homepage. After your customer journey is active and the emails in your workflow are being sent out, be sure to keep an eye on your reports to see how your journey is performing. From this My Journeys page, you'll see the number of contacts who have started a journey, are in progress in their journey, or who have completed a journey.
Furthermore, if you click into one of your journeys, you'll be able to see key stats that appear on tag and email actions as contacts reach those journey points within your visual workflow map. Remember, always be sure to see your journey emails are performing and make changes and edits to your journey as you go. How you design your customer journey map is completely up to you, so keep in mind what messages you want your contacts to see and when you want them to receive these communications. So now that we've walked through creating a customer journey together, what does this all look like for an example Mailchimp customer?
And let's meet Sprout Coffee. Sprout Coffee is a coffee roaster with a strong e-commerce presence. In addition to selling their coffee beans and cold brew, they also specialize in selling coffee brewing equipment and merchandise such as mugs, scales, and grinders. In the past year, their online business has increasingly become their primary source of revenue. As a small team, they've been looking for ways to step up their marketing efforts without increasing their workload. With the upcoming busy season, they knew that they wouldn't have the time to send all of the targeted bulk emails that they would want to send. But that's where customer journey builders came in to help.
They knew they wanted to design personalized experiences for their customers based on who the customer was and how they interact with Sprout's business. A couple of members of the Sprout team had even drawn out on a piece of paper how they imagined customers at various stages in the customer life cycle would interact with their online business. Although when they mapped it out, they knew what experience they wanted their customers to achieve, they were having a hard time knowing exactly how to set that up within Mailchimp. So that's where customer journeys come into play. Using this tool, they started to create workflows for their goals.
And for their first goal, they wanted to create customer journeys for their best-selling products to send customers on individualized paths that provided more information on those products, brewing instructions, as well as coffee and farm information. And here's one example of what this would look like for Sprout Coffee. They started with their top-selling product, creating a customer journey that kicks off whenever someone purchases their smart coffee maker.
They also knew they wanted to reward people and offer discounts at key moments to encourage new or repeat purchases. So they set up branching rules for those who either purchased a coffee bag from them already and those who hadn't. The idea here was to create different paths based on either encouraging someone to come back and purchase the same product again by incentivizing them with a discount, or to encourage a brand new purchase by introducing them to their current coffee offerings.
They also wanted to be able to easily tag their customers who had received specific emails within the customer journey. This would help them easily keep track of those people in their audience and to specifically target and market to them again in the future. As you can see, they added tags here for those contacts who were sent specific offer emails. And by doing the initial work to plan and set up these journeys within Mailchimp, the same journeys which they had once drawn out on pieces of paper, they've seen a huge impact on their engagement, their click-through rates, and their ROI.
In fact, by sending automated customer journeys, it's possible a company like Sprout Coffee could see their average revenue and campaign engagement increase. For example, by following similar tactics, we've seen a similar business increase their ROI per automated campaign by up to $11, and their click rate increased by up to 30% overall, all while saving their small team a bunch of time in the long run. Knowing that you can now create workflows visually that branch out at key moments, businesses are achieving exactly what they set out to do.
And with that customer example, we've just about wrapped up today's content. But first, let's take a moment to go over some key takeaways and best practices to remember when it comes to creating and using customer journeys. First, think through what you want your customer journey to be before you create it. Whether it's drawing out your workflow on a piece of paper or simply brainstorming your dream journey, make sure to always start with a game plan. This way, you'll be able to easily bring your marketing strategy to life once you're ready to get going.
The choices you make should be aligned to your goals. When setting up your customer journeys, make sure to keep your goals in mind. For example, are you looking to see higher click rates? Make sure to include clear calls to action and striking imagery in your emails to help get customers to take action. Do you want to increase your sales? Don't depend on a buy button. Use your customer journey as a way to nurture your audience's understanding of the products and services you're offering. Think about highlighting your products prominently by using product recommendation blocks in your emails. Or are you simply testing out new ways of engaging with your audience? Make sure to build your journeys with your objectives in mind.
If you're an e-commerce business, make sure to connect your store to utilize the customer journey builder for your e-commerce business. Once you've connected, you'll be able to create customer journeys and target people who've abandoned their carts or who have purchased products from you. You'll also be able to take your marketing to the next level by adding promo codes and product recommendations to your automated emails. And by doing this, you'll be able to sell more stuff and track your earnings all within Mailchimp.
If you're feeling unsure, use our recommended workflows to help you get going. Whether it's welcoming new contacts, reaching your tag contacts, or saying happy birthday. No matter what conversation you want to have with your contacts, our pre-built journeys will help you to get started.
And finally, make sure to audit your customer journeys regularly to see how they're performing and how people are interacting with your messaging and your content. Make sure to keep an eye on your reports and make changes as you go. If you're seeing active engagement, great, keep it up. But if something isn't working the way that you hoped, don't be afraid to mix things up and test new designs and new messaging. The more that you test things out, the more you'll get to know about your audience and start to learn what they respond best to.
And with all of those best practices, we have wrapped up today's webinar. So thanks for hanging in there, everyone. As a reminder, we'll be sending out a follow-up email to everyone who's registered. And this email has a quick follow-up survey on today's webinar. We'd really appreciate your thoughts and feedback on today's tutorial. We'll also be including the recording of today's session, along with helpful resources on how to get started creating your own customer journeys. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, we want to call your attention to the fact that we also have a variety of other webinars available to help you use Mailchimp. There's a link in our follow-up email to a schedule of all of our upcoming topics and dates.
And with that, on behalf of everyone here at Mailchimp, Nicole and I would just want to say thank you so much for joining us today, for sticking with us through a couple technical hiccups, but we really appreciate having you, and we hope that you have the best rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.